So hey folks, here we are, April something or othereth, right? It is still April. I think it's April unless it's May. Could it be May? Sorry, this little thing's causing me a little problem here. It may of course be May. It may of course be May. But whatever it is, it's been a bit of a rainy afternoon here in Pattaya. So it was funny, we were looking at the Weather Channel, or we were looking at the weather on the internet, trying to figure out what the weather was going to be like today. And literally, on the internet, it was saying that the weather was supposed to be nice and bright and sunny with 0% chance of precipitation while it stormed. So we got a really hellacious rainstorm here. And if you looked online, it was said it was all supposed to be nice and sunny. But oh well, there you go. It is nice today though. So I've been doing a couple of these videos, and you can now see the little mountains and the islands in the background. And you couldn't see that before. So one of the nice things was it was actually pretty cool today, and the air was a lot clearer than it normally, or than it has been. And so you can actually see some stuff in the off in the distance. So that's pretty nice. That's pretty nice. This is our last day here in Pattaya. So my foot is looking good. Very, very happy to say my foot is looking good. Basically, it looks perfect. It looks perfect, or almost perfect, or I'll say it looks perfect. If you look down at it, you can see the veins. Even when I'm not flexing it or doing anything weird, you can see the veins and you can see all the wrinkles and stuff and all that kind of stuff. So my wife and I decided that tomorrow we'll be going off to Siam Reap. So Siam Reap is in Cambodia, and the main thing near Siam Reap is this place called Angkor Wat, which is one of the biggest ruins anywhere in the world. Absolutely awesome. So we'll be going there tomorrow. It's about an 8-hour trip. We have to leave here at 7:30 in the morning. Take a minivan from here to the Cambodian border. At the Cambodian border, we got to go through immigration, and then on the other side, we get on some other crappy bus that'll take us into Siam Reap, and then we'll stay at a hotel. I'm not sure what hotel we're going to be staying at yet, but we'll stay at a hotel there, and we'll probably spend 4 or 5 days there, and then we're going to be figuring out what we will do next. Because we're not sure. We're not sure. Are we going to be staying? Are we going to be going? Again, for me, it's not as big of an issue as it would be for a lot of folks, because the reality is basically any time that I take off of this trip just goes into the RV trip when we leave for that. Right? So once we get home from this, we were already planning to throw everything into the travel trailer and go up north in the US. So essentially, it's not like a horrible thing. This is not like a vacation. Again, it's not a vacation. That's why I should get paid. Patreon. Have you looked at our Patreon page today? But anyways, so it's not like a vacation like with a lot of people. Oh, if this doesn't go well, this is absolutely horrible. Again, even if we leave early on this, we just go back, recuperate a little bit, and then we'll be heading out on the travel trailer. So I don't know. The only thing that I'm kind of thinking is that I would like to show my wife the southern part of Thailand, because that is really, really beautiful with all those limestone mountain, those limestone island areas. That is one of those unique features, or at least pretty unique features. I haven't seen it anywhere else in the world. So that's really amazing. So we're kind of on the fence about that. We don't know if we'll go so we're gonna go from here to Siam Reap because the tickets have already been purchased. And then from there, we'll either go back to Bangkok and fly back home, or we'll go down south. What we're gonna do, I don't know. We shall see. We shall see how it goes. The other thing that I have to say, the other thing that I do have to say is my wife. My wife has told me that I should apologize to Louis Rossmann. If Louis Rossmann is watching this video right now, I just want you to know, from the bottom of my heart, that my wife wants me to apologize to you. I'm not really sure why she wants me to apologize. I haven't really been able to grasp that concept, but she watched one of my videos and was laughing her ass off and said, "I thought you liked Louis Rossmann." And I said, "I do like Louis Rossmann." She said, "Why did you tear him up?" It's I didn't tear him up. I treated him like he was a man who does geek stuff. I treated him like a geek. I don't think I did anything wrong there. But if Louis Rossmann is watching this, just so you know, again, from the bottom of my heart, I want you to know that my wife wants me to apologize to you. I'm not going to, of course. I don't know why I would apologize for giving a crap ton of free advertising, That just seems ridiculous right there. But apparently she thinks I should apologize. But, you know, who knows? Who knows? It was funny. She was watching that. She's like, ah! And I do think it may be like a male-female thing. Because I don't know, maybe Lewis will get on this and be like, you son of a bitch! I can't believe you said those things about me. But I don't think he will. Like, I could be wrong. I could be reading the situation entirely wrong. Maybe I said just absolutely horrible things. But I really don't think I did. But I think that might be like the difference between like men and women in like the business world and the professional world is like how I would treat a man, like just completely normally. And like I think a lot of women would be like, oh my golly, I can't believe you would say that. Be like, what? Of course I said that. We're going out for a beer later. Why wouldn't I not say that? I don't know. But anyways, I don't know. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Because I'm giving him a little bit of crap yesterday about basically him talking about like not making very much money off of YouTube videos and not making money for like and looking at Patreon campaigns as if they are begging. And basically I gave him a bunch of crap for that. Not necessarily for himself. If he doesn't want money, hey, great, more for the rest of us. More just along the lines of when any content creators starts being derisive or starts talking down about making money, unfortunately, so many of the viewers and so many of the other people start assuming that it's wrong to make money off of this format, and then it just makes it a pain in the ass for everybody else, you know? And again, not just for me. I mean, yes, I do make money off of this, and it's, as I say, it's a very good job, but it is a job. But again, even for companies like the Fine Brothers, you know, the Fine Brothers have like 50 employees. Again, you know, whether you agree with their trademark policy or their legal policies or not. I mean, the reality is I mean, they've got employees and everything else, and yet a lot of people think, for some reason, if you do things on YouTube, it should all be for free. And so when you have people kind of reiterating that begging concept in any way, I think it diminishes. And so I was just giving crap to Lewis about that. But it's come up before about this whole idea, like somehow, do I not like Louis Rossmann, or does that Louis Rossmann not like me? Let me say, I have no idea if Louis Rossmann likes me anymore. I will not speak for him. I will not speak for him. But what I will say for myself is, you know, remember, I always do everything with a little bit of business sense in mind. And do remember that basically all advertising is good advertising. And especially if you don't totally and entirely trash the person, right? So there are some YouTubers that I've kind of sort of like trash. I mean, like, right? And so that might not be the best advertising in the world. But I would argue, like, the things that I've said about, like, Louis Rossmann or any of that, I don't think they're things where anybody would, like, stop watching his videos because I said those things. You know, like people saying that like Tobias is a child molester. I mean, that's gonna get you to stop watching Tobias, right? You know, me saying that I think that that Louis Rossmann is a little derisive or divisive, whatever, as far as YouTube monetization goes. I don't think anybody's gonna be like, yeah, damn that Louis, damn him all to hell. I will never watch his video again. If you get what I'm saying. I think it's more likely that people that have never heard of Louis will go, who the hell is this Louis Rossmann guy? Go over and watch Louis Rossmann and then figure out whether or not they like him. So on the whole, and that's where I would argue with this, is on the whole, whatever I say about Louis, again, I can't imagine, I'm not really sure why I'd be apologizing. So if Louis is watching this, just so you know, my wife wants me to apologize to you from the bottom of my heart. But anyways, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? That's the world of YouTube. That's the world of YouTube. You get on YouTube, you start talking. And that's the thing, Louis actually did a video about that before. It's not what you say, it's what people interpret as you say. And so you just got to accept that sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes you go out there and you have this great idea and you think, this is an amazing thought. And when I say it, people are going to be inspired and it's going to open their minds. And then you say it and you sound like a complete dick. But, you know, again, so how many videos have I done at this point? God, I'm probably well over 2,000 videos amongst all the channels, right? And again, if you do like over 2,000 videos, you're gonna have some hits. You're gonna have some rock star hits. And you're gonna have a lot of misses. You just got to accept that. And you just got to keep on rolling. Keep on rolling. That's kind of what I want to talk to you guys today about. From this beautiful beach in Pattaya, Thailand, especially, is about to go off to Cambodia. And the whole concept of risk aversion, and why this is important for your professional lives, whether you're technology professionals or not. Because as I've been talking about before, so we've come here to Thailand, and once I came to Thailand, I got my nice little cellulitis disease. Look at that, I have shoes on today. And the cellulitis disease is this like bacterial infection of your appendage that ends up trying to rot off your appendage. Again, if you haven't had any food yet today, you can go do a Google image search on cellulitis and see what that looks like. And again, as I say, cellulitis, it sounds like such a nice disease. Oh, good, you got cellulitis. I thought it might have been something bad. Well, then you do a Google image search on cellulitis and oh my God. Who the hell named that thing? That is too polite a name. It'd be like calling a disease Pikachu. Oh, you have a bit of the Pikachu. And you're like, oh, that doesn't sound bad. And then like your flesh starts sloughing off your body, right? And it's like, it's just a bad name. Like it's a cellulitis. It's just like, it's like a Pikachu name. It's like, oh, that's cute. And then you're like, oh my God. Anyways, but why does risk aversion and all that have to do with anything? Well, my technology videos, and one of the reasons why I'm diverging, is this zoomed in too much? Why I am leaving a bit of the technology world behind, the technology professional development world behind, is because as I've talked about for a long time in those videos, if you're a follower of those videos, is that I honestly do not believe that technology education is the most important thing for technology professionals anymore. I really don't. I really think in the modern world, finding technology education is relatively easy. In the modern world, finding affordable technology education is relatively easy. I think finding problems to solve is relatively easy. And I think finding people with money that want problems solved is relatively easy. Now again, when I say relatively easy, it is relatively easy, as in you still gotta go work your ass off. But again, there's a difference between having to work your ass off and something being near impossible. You know what I'm saying? I mean, back in the days, like with a lot of this stuff, it used to be near impossible. You know, if you go back and you look at the days when Bill Gates and Steve Jobs and all those folks were kids in high school, I mean, they were using mainframes to share time. So an entire school or an entire company would have a single mainframe. So becoming a technology professional back then was a royal pain in the ass, because the fact of the matter is if one computer essentially costs a few $1 million, not many people can buy those computers. And therefore, if there's not many computers in the world, that means you don't really need very many people to support those computers. And since the cost is so high, blah, 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 it becomes very hard to be a technology professional. Now, we have these Raspberry Pi. They now have the Raspberry Pi credit card size computer that you can literally buy for $5. You can buy one of these computers for $5. Now, it's a little... that's a bit of a misnomer. Is misnomer the right word? That's a bit incorrect. For that $5, you don't get the power supply, and you don't get a couple of other things. So it's not really $5. But all told, you know, you can actually get a computer for, I don't know, somewhere, let's say $20, right? And that'll be like a 1 gigahertz processor computer with at least 512 RAM, with a little bit of storage on there, right? For $20, which means you can build a cluster for like 200 and so on and so forth. Basically, this stuff just doesn't cost that much money anymore. And realistically, since decent computers have been around for quite a while now, you can probably buy a decent computer for free. Again, if you go back and you buy a Pentium, a 3 gigahertz Pentium 4 computer, that's actually a pretty damn good computer. Again, especially if you throw something like Linux on it, you throw an operating system that would be more optimized for those resources, that'd be a pretty decent system. And then you can go and you can build whatever you want. I mean, it's you just have to go out there and figure out what people need. Do you need an app? Do you need a server? Do you need this? Do you need that? Do you need the other thing? And then you can go out. You don't even have to buy like dummies books anymore. It's really funny. Like people who watch my tech videos. Oh, they look at the books behind me when they watch the tech videos, and they see all those dummies books and they laugh at me.
And the funny thing now is that dummies books aren't even needed anymore. Like, there's no reason to even buy dummies books anymore. That you can literally go out and simply on the internet, there are so many free resources. There are these strange people like Eli the Computer Guy, where you can learn things about technology, or you can go to Code Academy and learn things about technology, or you can even go to the vendor sites, you know, Chef or Puppet or any of these companies, and basically they've got free training on their products. A lot of people don't realize, you know, it used to be that in order to learn how to use a product that you had to buy. So you were going to go out there and you were going to install a Microsoft server. A Microsoft server costs you $600 for the server, plus it costs $50 per client access license, plus. Well, here's the funny part. In order to get to the point where you were giving Microsoft thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, you would actually have to spend thousands of dollars to learn the product. Like, that was it. That's why these boot camps came around. That's why all the education came around, is that you wanted, not only did you have to pay Microsoft in order to use their product. Oh, shit. Well, that was fun. You may or may not realize it, but that is slippery. Well, at least my camera is vaguely durable. At least it did not hit the cement. At least it did not hit cement. But anyways, what was I saying? Again, this is Let's Live. In Let's Live videos, you don't know what'll happen next. Sometimes I'll tell you something like brilliant and amazing, and other times I'll slip off a really slick sea bag or whatever and hit the ground. You just never know. It's risk. It is risk. Oh, look at that. You got a little drop of water. Oh, well, I'll leave that drop of water there because I don't really want to wipe it off with all the sand and stuff around. Here, let me wander over here. Let me wander over here and get under a tree. We're gonna get under this tree. Hopefully it's not gonna start raining really hard. I'm a little worried, because it rained pretty damn hard before. So it may start raining really hard again. But then I'll just steal one of these people's umbrellas. Because I'm hard that way. But anyways, sorry for the rain. I was like, woohoo! That thing was slick. Those things over there, those are very slick. You see those little, I don't know what they are. I guess they must be like really big sandbags. And then you have all that algae and stuff on top. And it may be surprising. It may be shocking to realize. But the algae on top is actually very slick. I know, it's like, really? Are you telling me algae is slick, Eli? These things you say, I would have never believed. Anyways, let me get under this. There's a little like log thing here. I will get under a little log thing. There we go. I'm under a log. Log! Not just a play toy anymore. There we go. Anyways, okay. Oh, we're gonna talk about risk aversion. We're talking about risk aversion, right? What was I talking about before I slipped off that thing? Darn it. I lost my memory. Oh, that's kind of pretty. You guys can't really see it though. Here, I'm gonna, I hope I don't screw up my lens. Well, I'm not really gonna screw up my lens. I'm gonna screw up my UV filter. I don't really think I'm gonna screw up my UV filter. As I screw up my UV filter. No, there we go. This is live. You get live on YouTube. There we go. That's not too bad. I cleaned it up. Anyways, it's actually pretty nice out here. See nice little mountains in the background. They're very pretty. Got the rain coming down. I hope it doesn't start raining too hard. Oh, sigh. What does Eli get himself into sometimes? I don't know. But anyways, we're going to talk about risk aversion. That was the point. That was the point before I lost whatever the hell I was trying to say. So we're talking about risk aversion. And so, oh my golly, it's starting to rain harder. Damn it. I really didn't think it was going to rain that much. Anyways, well, I'm under my log. I got a log. Log shall protect us. When in doubt, find a log. As long as it's not lightning. It's like I was really liking those failed normal vlogs all the way until a lightning bolt exploded Eli's head. It was so sad. Oh, anyways, so I was gonna be talking about, yeah, what was I talking about? Talking about something. Definitely talking about something. Risk aversion and why it's important. Anyways, so talking about my foot and the whole foot thing. It can like rot stuff off. And talking about coming out here to Thailand and talking about a lot of these other things that I've done in life that are very adventurous, right? Oh, look at that. Random puppy dog. I'm very ADD today. I don't know why I'm so ADD. I think it was because I had Nescafe. Have you ever had Nescafe? Nescafe is just like the worst crap in the world. Nescafe is proof that Europe hates the rest of the planet. It is just, it's not, I don't even know what it is. I think like crushed up Vibrant is a better drink than, what those dogs running for? I'm sorry, I'm so ADD today. I don't know what's going on. Like I have like no brain power. I think it was when I slipped off the thingy. The thing, I can't even remember what the thingy is. Oh no, my mind is going. Well, I was gonna talk about risk aversion. I don't know. I don't want to talk about risk aversion anymore. I don't know. What do you people want out of me? It is funny, like how you do YouTube videos and all that kind of stuff. It's so off the cuff, especially like how I do these videos. A lot of people don't understand that. It's like one of those things you kind of like feel in your soul. Like when I do these long form videos, like I'll think about like an idea all day. So I sit there and I think about an idea and I contemplate an idea and I kind of say little skits or say little parts of it like throughout the day. And then what happens is I'll come out here or I'll sit in front of my little TV chair and then I'll just kind of spit out all these things I've been thinking about. So it's kind of like I process what I'm gonna say for something like 24 hours. And then somehow that congeals into something that makes a little bit of sense. And then literally all I do is sit there and just say the words that come to my head. And so most of the time, that works amazingly well. I mean, it actually does. It works like shockingly well. People like watch my videos and they're surprised. They're like, how do you do these videos? How do you do these one-take videos where you actually stay on topic and you make a darn bit of sense? And as I tell everybody, I don't know, it's a bit of magic. Again, if you can do something magically, do it. Don't complain, don't bitch, don't whine, don't say, I shouldn't make any money for this. Just go out there and do it. But the problem is with magic sometimes is that magic just leaves you. You know what I'm saying? Like technical things, right? So if I walk into a server room, I can be drunk, I can be hungover, I can be tired, I can have a broken leg, I can have cellulitis, I can have all these things. I can still walk into that server room and I can still do my job because there is no magic there. You know how all the things are supposed to work together. You know how all the configuration files and all that are supposed to look. You just go in there and you paint by numbers. No magic whatsoever. But the problem is, like I say, doing these YouTube videos, there's a bit of magic there. It's just you go in there, I do these videos, I start talking, and then wonderful things happen. Wonderful things happen. Until apparently I slip off a stupid little sandbag and lose my entire train of thought. And then it's all gone. It's all gone. He said, but Eli, get it back. Run it down. Do your work. Discipline, boy, discipline. It's like, yeah, but there isn't really like discipline here. That's one of those funny things. It's like there's no discipline with it. It's not like, oh, if I work harder, if I just buckle down, I can do this better. It's like, nope, I had an idea. And look, it's running. It's running over there. Over that way. It's running over the hills. What are you going to do? Anyways, I guess I'll keep babbling. I will babble. Not the original babbling that I had planned to babble, because I really had a good idea. It was this whole risk aversion thing, and I was gonna talk about how, let's see, can I get it back? Can I get it back? Let's see. So what was I gonna talk about? I was gonna talk about risk aversion. And I was going to talk about how in the modern world, everybody thinks the way in order to be successful is you go out and, you know, you get these certifications and you get these skills and you get all this stuff that really isn't that valuable anymore because any jackass can go out there and get it. What's really valuable, maybe I'm getting it, What's really valuable is you have like this basic skill set that allows you to actually go out there and get the job accomplished, right? So as it becomes easier and easier and easier to do the work, what becomes more and more valuable is all of this stuff that goes around the work. As I talk about with work, you have the work itself, you have the task itself, and then you have what's called the workflow, right? So the work itself is, let's say you have a server. So the work itself is Active Directory. You will set up Active Directory and you will add the client computers and the member servers to the domain. That is the work. Right? The workflow is how does somebody request that their computer be added to the domain? So they call the help desk. The help desk then adds the information to the work order system, the ticketing system. The ticketing system then has some kind of escalation algorithm where if somebody requests a computer to be added to the network, that it should be done within 48 hours. So it's automatically routed to a certain department and it should be done within 48 hours. If it's not done within 48 hours, then the ticket should be escalated and sent to a different department for the next 72 hours. If it doesn't go there, then somebody gets screamed at or whatever. You know, that's the overall like workflow. And what I would argue, and I've argued for a long time, is workflow is what is becoming more and more, oh, I'm getting it. Workflow is what is becoming more and more and more important, and the work itself is becoming less so, because again, you have more and more people that are actually certified to do the work. The work itself is becoming easier and easier and easier. The cost for equipment and the cost for everything is becoming less and less and less and less, and therefore the work itself is what is becoming less valuable. And it's the workflow, it's dealing with people, it's interacting with people, it's getting crap done that is becoming what is more valuable. Now you sit there and you think about that and you're like, okay, well what does that have to do with being in Thailand? What does that have to do with Pattaya? What does that have to do with cellulitis? What does that have to do with wanting to back knuckle a tuk-tuk driver? What does that have to do with going to Angkor Wat in Cambodia where there's still landmines on the ground? What does that all have to do with everything? You're like, okay, well Eli, that's nice, but where's the meat? Where's the professional development here? One of the things I've talked about in the technology videos for quite a long time is that one of the reasons why I think I've been very good in business is because of my old experiences with emergency services and traveling around the world and all the kind of wacky ass and semi-dangerous stuff I've done in the past. Because one of the coping mechanisms that I have, one of the skills I've developed over the years, is whenever I walk in to deal with a CEO, so dealing with CEOs and dealing with C-level executives can be a bit stressful. A lot of people find it to be really stressful. And one of the reasons that they find it to be very stressful is because they worry about what's going to happen with themselves, right? If I don't answer this person properly, I could get fired. If I don't answer this person properly, I could, you know, basically I could not get the next promotion, all that kind of stuff. So they go in and when they're dealing with a superior, when they're dealing with somebody that is over them and has decision-making authority over their career, they kind of freeze up and they kind of start doing some really stupid crap because they're scared, right? Because they're scared. Oh my golly, what could happen if I screw this up, right? So they're sitting there and they're thinking, oh my God. You know, they go in there, deal with the CEO, and the CEO is like, look, our servers are down, what's gonna happen? And so what do people do is they get scared and they're like, oh no, the servers are down. Is the water coming back in? Let me run this way. The servers are down. Yeah, I mean, if I don't get this back up and running, oh no, you know, I might get fired or I might lose a promotion or I might not get the bonus, all that kind of stuff. And as I've talked about before, as soon as people start getting frightened, as soon as they start getting scared, as soon as they start worried about loss, then they start doing stupid crap, right? It's one of the things, you don't want any of your employees and you don't want yourself worried about losing, because as soon as you start worried about losing, there's this weird thing in the mind. They've actually done studies on this where they've shown that people are more worried about losing than they are about gaining. So if you're really trying to do something like to motivate people or whatever, basically you threaten to have them lose something rather than gain something. It's more important. So if you have an employee and you're trying to basically whip them, you know, you flog them, it is better to tell them that they will lose salary, that they will lose the bonus that they're expecting if they don't do a good job, rather than they will gain a bonus if they do a good job. Again, I'm not saying it's right or any of that kind of stuff. I'm just saying that's how it works, and that's how the brain works. Basically, the brain is just very preconditioned to being scared to death of losing. And so the problem is, as soon as the brain gets scared of anything, then everything goes really bad. And so one of the things I've talked about in my tech videos for a long time now, this isn't a new thing, is, for me, when I go and I deal with a C-level executive, or I deal with a business owner, I deal with anybody that is decision-making authority over my career, or if not necessarily my career, at least over this particular contract. Basically what I do, since I've been through all these weird, dangerous situations, is I walk into the situation and I think about it this way. I look at the CEO, or look whatever, and I go, is there any chance that this situation will kill me? Now to think about it, because you know, death is a big thing. Death is a big thing. I know it sounds funny, but really, been through a lot of situations. Knock on wood, I'm still here, right? So it's like, okay, so this situation isn't gonna kill me. Fine. And then I think about it and go, is there any chance that this situation is going to permanently injure me or bring me severe bodily harm? I sit there and think about it. Again, it's a CEO. They may scream, they may bitch, they may moan, but it's not going to bring me severe bodily harm. And then, if neither of those things are the case, then everything else doesn't really matter. I mean, money can be made other places, right? You know, if this contract doesn't work out, I can find another contract. If this job doesn't work out, I can find another job. I'm not married to anything other than my wife. The only thing in the world I am married to is my wife. That's it, right? So, you know, basically, I walk in there, and since I'm not worried about the same kind of crap everybody else is worried about, it allows my brain to be very relaxed, and then I can deal with the executive, I can deal with the person from a professional level, right? So I'm going in there and, you know, and I've dealt with this before, you know, CEO is like, oh, why aren't all the computers on the network? Well, I paid you to put all the computers on the network. And it's like, yes, you've paid me to put all the computers on the network, but you haven't paid for the client access licenses. We need another 10 client access licenses. I've told you this before, it's $500. And here's the thing, I'm not worried about it. Is the CEO gonna kill me? No. Is the CEO gonna injure me? No. All the CEO can do is fire me. So you just sit there and you look at him and you look him straight in the eye and go, look, I need $500 for cows. That's it. You give me $500 for cows, I can finish the work. If you don't give me $500 for cows, I can't finish the work. You tell me what to do next. And that usually gets you where you need to go. Because basically, again, like I say, with CEOs and all that kind of stuff, they lose their temper, they lose their patience and all that. But they really, at the end of the day, they need the work done. They need the job done. But what they're so used to is they're so used to people lying. They're so used to people being mealy-mouthed. They're used to right? That they normally have to fucking reach in and try to grab and figure out the truth from these people. So if you just stare at them and you look at them and you're completely relaxed, because it doesn't matter. Here's the thing, let me ask you something, right? Because again, look at my foot, look at my foot. Isn't that a pretty foot? Oh, it's such a pretty foot, right? Here's the thing. Once you've had something like cellulitis, do you really think a single individual few $1,000 contract is really that important? Again, so if you walk in and you're relaxed, it doesn't matter. And again, like I say, cellulitis is not the worst thing I've had in my life. And so that's the thing, you go in there, it's kind of like trying to get a girlfriend or trying to get a boyfriend or whatever from the other sex. If you go in there and you're all stressed, and you're like, oh, I need this, right? You scare everybody off and it always goes bad, right? You know, you go in there and you really like the girl and it's like, you really, but then you're so focused, it all just goes really bad. Whereas if you just walk in there and you're like, yeah, you know, I'd love to take you out for a date, but hey, if you don't want to go out for a date, no worries. There's some other cute girls out there, right? That's usually when it goes well. And so what I argue with the problem with risk aversion is that so many people in this world have become so risk averse, and I don't really know what the hell is going on. There is this idea that any of us make it out of life alive, and we don't. We all gonna die. Some of us will die when we're 20. Some of us will die when we're 100. Some of us, maybe a couple, will die when we're 120. But we're all gonna die. But there's this whole thing, we've come to this whole world where we have become so risk averse. But then the problem is that we become so risk averse that we don't know how to deal with any kind of risk. We don't know how to deal with any kind of stress. We kind of freak out, but even the ways where we need to be able to deal with stress, we need to be able to deal with all this stuff, and so things go so badly. So why I'd argue, adventure is so important. And again, I don't care I don't care what adventure it is that you go through. I don't care if you go to Thailand, I don't care if you go to India, I don't care if you go to Europe, I don't care if you go down the block, I don't care if you start a business instead of traveling around, or maybe you go in EMS or EMT or firefighter or whatever else. But one of the reasons why, like, the adventure and why dealing with risk in the real world is so important is because it focuses your mind on what is important and what is not important. When I was sitting in that hospital, looking at my poor little foot as dark blood started oozing out of it, it really focused the mind on, right now, what is really important is my poor little foot. That I would really like to keep my poor little foot, right? You know, so other things don't seem so bad. They don't seem so stressful. So you go when you deal with them, and you can be nice and relaxed and calm, and you don't freak everybody out, and you don't freak yourself out, and all that kind of stuff. I was gonna say something much more profound with this video. I had it. I've been working on, look at this. Oh, little cute little puppy dog. There's so many cute little puppy dogs in this place. It's so hard. So there's all these little puppy dogs running around, but I don't know, what are you gonna do? There's too many of them, right? If we were back home, like I said, my wife would be scooping them up, taking them off to the rescue shelter or whatever. But here, there are no rescue shelters. So anyways, I don't know. Like I said, I was going to say something very profound. I was going to say something profound and significant. I was going to blow your mind like a lightning bolt. But then I fell off a sandbag and lost it. Completely lost it. So anyways, I hope that risk aversion thing makes a little bit of sense. But it really is important, because again, this is what you have to think about in the modern world when you're competing against people, is so many people are focused on certifications, and so many people are focused on education, and so many people are focused on all this crap. When in reality, you know, employers and bosses and decision makers, they need people that will get the job done, that will walk in and do the job. The reason that I was successful in technology, and the reason why I'm even successful here, is because I just do the fucking job. Right? I don't worry about it. I don't worry if I look stupid. I don't worry if I seem like an idiot. I don't really worry if I piss off Louis Rossman. Again, if Louis is watching, I really hope I didn't piss you off. Again, apparently my wife tells me I should apologize. But I'm not worried about it, because if I was worried about that shit, you couldn't get anything done. Ever, right? But that's the thing, is so many people are so risk averse, and they don't, like, you know, if you look at military service, again, military service is a good thing. You know, military service, you go out there, you learn to throw hand grenades, you learn how to shoot guns, you know, lots of your buddies get hurt in disgusting and horrible ways. But here's the thing, as long as you're not one of those people that gets hurt in horrible and disgusting ways, then you realize what's important in life, and you sit there, it's like, huh, I don't have a concussion that just wiped out the last 6 months of memory. My life ain't so bad, right? Because again, you have all these people like, oh no, what if I lose a month's salary? My life will be over. It's like, no, if you lose half your body, your life will be over. If you lose a month's salary, yeah, it'll suck. Don't get me wrong, it will suck. But you'll make it. You'll get by, right? But that's one of the problems, like I say, in the modern world is so many people. They don't go out there and they don't risk very much of anything anymore. Again, they don't do the military service, they don't do the real adventure. Again, there's not like real factory work where little bits get ripped off of your body. That's not really that normal anymore. There's all of these things out there that just... And so people aren't used to dealing with the risk. And so unfortunately, like with all things, it's all about perspective. If you have been crapping your brains out in the middle of Goa in India and are so delusional that it's just like, right? Again, you go and you're dealing with a contract, the contract doesn't seem like that big a deal. But if you've never dealt with that, if you have never, ever dealt with that kind of stuff, then all of these things seem significant. All of these things seem important. All of these things seem scary. Oh no, what if my boss gives me a disciplinary review? What if my boss writes me up because I screwed something up? That's just gonna be the end of my life. No. No, it might be bad. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's probably not gonna be the best thing for your career with that company, but that's not gonna be the end of your life. Right? So again, if you walk in there, and if you're willing to risk the wrath of the decision makers because you know you are right as a professional, you will do much better as a professional, because you walk in there and they're like, if you get this wrong, all hell's gonna break loose. Then you look at them, you're like, no, It's not gonna break loose, but don't worry. I'm a professional. I know what's going on. We're gonna be solid. Then you become the person that everybody goes to because you're just rock solid. You're good. Again, like I say, with this whole foot thing. I mean, you got to think about that. Because I know it seems like a little bit of a joke now because I've been talking about it so much. But I was really kind of sort of worried I might be losing my foot. Because again, go do a Google image search of cellulitis. Anyways, but that's the thing. Is like I'm sitting there, a little bit of blood is coming out of my foot. My foot is like growing bigger. And then, you know, you got to think about it. So I'm sitting there and I have to think, you know what? I am in a foreign country where the people do not speak the language, where I do not know how things need to get done, and I have to sit here, I have to try to figure out what's going on. While I'm trying to figure out what's going on, I have to make sure everybody tries to stay relatively unstressful. So again, I'm worried that I may actually end up losing my foot over this kind of thing. And I'm sitting there with the nurses laughing. Why? Because you need to keep presence of mind. You need to keep everybody relaxed. You need to keep everything going smooth, right? Okay, this is a situation where we're dealing with. This situation might be going kind of bad. It's okay, I'm okay, you're okay. It's only a foot, So what are you gonna do for me? Okay, how are we gonna work this through? How are we gonna talk about it? You keep people smiling, you keep people working, you keep people going, you keep it all, right? You don't lose your fucking shit. And again, you think about it from a professional way. Again, this may seem like a joke, but then think about how somebody like me acts in a server room when one of the servers takes a dump, right? If I have enough presence of mind to try to make sure everybody's smiling, laughing, and happy while I'm in a hospital literally worried about my foot, do you think I'm really gonna lose my shit when a single server fails? Or 2 servers fail? Now don't get me wrong, with 3 servers in the cluster fail, I'm probably gonna lose my shit. But up until that point, right? Keep saying, it's okay, right? And so again, that's why I would argue things like risk and going out there and living a little bit dangerously is a good thing. Because you realize what risk is. You realize what danger is. Again, you see what happens to your buddies. All the buddies don't come through. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yep, there were more of us than there are now, right? But then, I mean, you look at it and you're like, hey, I mean, that's the thing is you think about it in your head and you're like, well, at least I'm not like that poor bastard. It's not so bad anymore, right? Keep it all in your head. But again, that's a problem, like I say, in the modern world. Everybody's so risk averse. They're so worried about danger. But then they just can't process what is danger, what they should be worried about. So all this little crap is they just fucking lose their mind over. Like, oh no, what about? What happens if? It's so funny, like so many people are like, oh, Eli, but what happens if? It's like, well, then I die. If that happened, like right now, look at that water. Isn't that beautiful water? What if a tsunami happens? Then I'll die. What the fuck do you want me to tell you? I mean, that's just the truth, right? But what are you gonna do? You're gonna be all scared, you're gonna be all coward, you're not gonna do what you wanna do in life, or you're just gonna go out there and do it. Right? Oh no, what if I lose a salary? What if I lose money? What if I lose this, that, or the other thing? Because that's in life. I mean, like, everybody has this idea, like, you know, to be successful, you go out there and you work really hard, and you do work hard, and you do put out stuff, but a lot of it is risk. A lot of it, you get exponentially more reward for the risk that you're willing to do. Again, you know, they say that with like startups or business or any of that. You know, 9 out of 10 experiments fail. But then all you're looking for is that one. All you're looking for is that one that is like redonkulously valuable. And so you gotta go be out there and you gotta risk. But that's the thing, you know, when you risk, so many people talk about like risk and losing money and all that as if it's an easy thing to do. Like, oh, you know, I lost $100,000 or something. But you know, to a lot of people, $100,000 is real money. You know, that's everything. But that's where you gotta be able to put things into perspective. You've gotta decide, you've gotta be able to decide, you know, what do I want out of life? Where do I want to be in 10 years? You know, it's the idea of, I mean, you put the money on the table, you put your whatever on the table, and you might lose it this time, and you might lose it next time, and you might lose it the time after that. But you understand how everything fits together, and all you're looking for is that one win, right? You know, I mean, that's the thing, like I say, for me and cellulitis, look at my foot. It's so pretty, oh so pretty, and witty, and wise. But anyways, right? And so it's like some people might be like, Eli, look, you go to Thailand, starting doing this fail normal thing, and then you get there, and within a week of getting there, you're in a Thai hospital, Isn't that showing you something? Isn't that showing you that maybe this isn't the way to go and you need to go to the server room? It's like, well, you could look at it that way, I suppose. Or you could look at it of, that's just the risk, right? What is the reward? What is the reward? Is that if I can make this whole failed normal channel work, I understand the numbers, I understand the metrics, I understand how YouTube and new media works. And this can be exponentially more valuable and exponentially more fun than Eli the computer guy ever was. So, am I willing to take a bit of risk on bacteria and such in order to create a job, in order to create, I guess, a business that could be absolutely and utterly amazing? Yes, I could go back to the server room and I could go back to be a tech consultant or a CIO or start some goofy ass startup company, you know, dog dating startup company. Then I would not really much have to worry about bacterial infection. Well, except actually that's awkward because, you know, somebody was just talking about how they had a friend of theirs where like half their body got eaten off and they got that in like Michigan or something. So, but, you know, that's the thing. But you look at it, it's like, well, would I be happy with that? Would I really enjoy that? Would the rewards be the types of rewards that I actually want? So I'm willing to do this kind of risk because I want the life that comes with if I can make this risk work. Right? You know, my wife and I are getting on a bus to go into Siam Reap tomorrow. Again, Cambodia. They got lots and lots and lots of unexploited landmines all over the place. I hope we don't step on a landmine, but you gotta take a little bit of risk. Right? You know, being here in Thailand. Actually, the most dangerous thing here in Thailand ain't the frickin' cellulitis, it's the roads, apparently. These folks have some of the most dangerous roads in the world. Well, yep. What are you gonna do? You gonna stay home? You gonna cower under the bed? Or are you gonna do what you think needs to get done? And again, the people that are successful in life, they're the ones that walk in and do it. I saw that so much, like when I was a consultant. I mean, one of the reasons why I won over so many of my clients is because I went in there and I just got the work done. They'd be like, Eli, what's the problem? Or they tell me what the problem is, and they're like, what's the solution? I'd be like, I don't know the solution, but I will solve it. Just go away and let me bill you hourly, and I'll tell you when it's done. And then they come back, and look, everything's working perfectly, right? It wasn't necessarily because I was the best technician all the time. It wasn't because I had the most certifications or any of that. It was because I went in there and I figured out what the hell the problem was, and I didn't leave until the problem was solved or they had an actionable recommendation. Something we'll talk about later, right? And that's the thing. But everybody wants to protect themselves with the MCSE. Oh, but I got my MCSE. Oh, I got my CCNA. Oh, I've got all this stuff. It's like, yeah, but can you walk into a room and fucking own it? Can you walk into the room and can you say, everybody shut the hell up? You right there, tell me what the problem is. Okay, that is the problem. Does everybody agree that that is what the problem is? Yes. Okay, everybody agrees with what my hourly rate is? Yes. Bah! Shut up. Okay, everybody agrees with those things? Great. I need the usernames and passwords, and I need to know where the hell the server room is, and I'll tell you when it's fixed. Can you walk in there and can you own the situation? Because if you can walk in there and you can own the situation, you're golden. If you walk in there and you're asking permission from everybody for everything, I mean, think about that. Like, you know, you have people that are system admins, right? They walk in and they're like literally asking for permission to like go to the frickin' bathroom. I'd like to go to the bathroom. Dude, you're a senior level sysadmin. Just go to the fucking bathroom. Oh, am I allowed to just do it, right? And again, that's the thing, you're in the server room, and I see this a lot, like I say, with newer technicians. When you're in the server room, it is your server room. The CEO doesn't understand what's going on in the server room, the secretary doesn't understand what's going on in the server room, nobody understands what's going on in the server room. And then they'll come up with a plan. They will come up with a plan. I have a plan. I have a plan. Great. And then what do? They then go ask the CEO whether or not they're allowed to do it. And it's just like, well, what are you doing? What are you doing? Just do it. Do you think the CEO understands Active Directory? You know, whether it's Windows or Samba or whatever else. Do you think the CEO understands any, you know, the difference between routing and remote access on your Windows 2012 server versus the VPN services built into the router? Do they understand any of that crap? No. All they understand is they're paying you the hourly rate and they need the crap fixed. And they would prefer if the crap was fixed before your hourly rate exceeds what they're able to spend, right? So, I got that once from a I was doing security. I was doing security work. I was an assistant supervisor doing security work in DC. And I remember that because all of our real supervisors were just some fucking cowardly little cowards. They wouldn't do anything without authorization from above, right? And so it was funny because the person that was like the district manager or whatever was a retired colonel from the Army. And so I felt comfortable. I was hired for the job. I knew what the job was. We were there to make decisions and then tell the person. But then, you know, the manager, my manager that was above me was like, oh, we have to get everything approved by the district person, person above him. I don't want to take any responsibility. And so I remember once. So this one guy, this retired colonel, finally comes to me one day. He's like, Eli? I was like, yes. He's like, look, I hired you for this job for a reason. I hired you for this job because you have a brain and I trust your decision making. I'm like, okay, what does that have to do with anything? So he's like, here's what I want you to do. I want you to stop asking me for permission for everything. The reason I hired you was to make decisions. So I need you to start making fucking decisions. I'm like, okay. So he's like, here's what I want you to do. When there is a problem with one of our buildings, when there is a security issue, this is what I want you to do. I want you to figure out what the security issue is, what all the ramifications, everything, do an assessment of what the security problem is. Okay. Then I want you to implement a solution to what you have assessed the problem to be. I was like, okay. And then I want you to wait a little bit to figure out how that's going. You know, does it get remedied? You know, somebody's acting like an asshole, we call the police, that person gets arrested. I was like, okay, yeah, whatever. And he's like, and then what I want you to do is I want you to send me the email or whatever, the text or whatever it is, or call them, however we communicated way back in the 90s. He said, I want you to then tell me what the problem was, as you assessed it to be. I want you to tell me what the solution that you implemented was, and I want you to tell me how it worked out. And I want you to give me all of that information. And here's the thing. If when you give me all of that information, if there's anything there that I see as incorrect or bad or legally liable or any of that kind of stuff, I will contact you immediately for corrective action. Otherwise, this is what I hired you for. I was like, wow, what an amazing idea. Right? But again, so many people, they just keep wanting to go back. Like, oh, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? It's like, look, take the risks. And that's the thing, like I say, that boss, that was the thing. He was delegating that risk management to me. That's why you were hired. I hired you because you have a brain, because I trust that hopefully you won't make really stupid, liable decisions. Always got to be a little bit of trust there, right? But so many people, they won't take that mantle. And like I say, my manager, oh, it was horrible. Because then, oh, you want to talk about real pain in the ass with managers? Imagine when the highest manager in the company that you're going to deal with at your level gives you instructions like that, and then your direct manager still wants to get everything certified through the, oh, that was just a pain in the ass. But it was a good experience. And again, that's one of the things that I learned, and again, what I would say for professional, is that's what you do. You assess the situation, you figure out a plan, you implement the plan, you start to see how it's working, and then you go and you tell your superior or whatever else what they need to know, and you go from there, right? So again, like I say, if I was working in the company, and let's say a server goes down, I would go there, and so it's like, okay, what's wrong? The server is down. And then you go in there and you go to fix the server, you do this, and you do that, then you do the other thing, and then you figure out, okay, it's a motherboard that's failed. Now at that point, I don't go to CEO and say the motherboard has failed. At that point, I then go, I figure out what the motherboard is, I then do a search, try to figure out where we can find a motherboard. Many times it's a really old server, so then you find it on eBay. And what you find out is with eBay, you never know what kind of product you're getting. So you think about it, and you're like, okay, well, I can either buy this from eBay, or this is the time to do the full migration. But you get all that information in your head. And then you go to the CEO. And then you go to the CEO and you say, okay, look, your server is down. Ah, I know the server's down. Ah. It's not bad. Nobody's gonna die. Nobody's gonna lose a foot. It's all okay. It's all okay. But here's the deal. And again, they're still losing your mind, but it's again, as long as you stay calm, it's good. They can lose their shit all they want. You just stay calm. So you go, okay, look, you're losing your shit, that's fine. I'll explain this to you while you're losing your crap. So here's the deal. We can either go out and I can buy this motherboard off of eBay, I honestly don't like to buy parts off of eBay because 99% of the time they're crap, they don't work, they're not the right ones, so on and so forth. And so basically we'll be down another day or two until we get that part. And then even when we get it, I don't really certify that's gonna work, so that seems like a bad idea. Here's the other thing. We've already been talking about migration anyway. Again, we're having all these problems finding parts for the server anyway. It's because it's a 5-year-old, 6-year-old server. It's already old. We should have been replacing it. So instead of doing that, we can order a new server. We can have that new server here within 48 hours. We can do the migration. You'll have a brand new server. Everything will be up and running, and I can absolutely certify it within 72 hours. Everything will be great. So what do you want to do? Okay, buy the new server. Great. And then you're the person that fixed all the problems. Why? Because you weren't worried about it. You weren't worried about losing your job. You weren't stressing your mind out about all this insignificant stuff. You're focused on what the problem was, and you went out there and you solved it. You owned the room. The reason is because you know what real risk is, and you know what's not risky. Right? Eli, if this doesn't get up and running, we're losing thousands of dollars an hour. I understand that. Is anybody gonna die? Oh no! Okay, well then we can work through it. It's all gonna be good. You might not have as many thousands of dollars in your bank account. You may have to go to Ramada Inn when you take your vacation to the Bahamas, but that's okay. You might need to go to Ramada Inn every once in a while. It's all good. There we go. That is my thought on risk and all that. I hope that made a lot of sense. It's so funny. It really is like the magic. It is the magic of doing vlogs. You just have this idea in your head, and then you slip off a sandbag, and then you completely lose it. I had a point. I had a point. Oh, sigh, 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 sigh. Anyways, Pattaya has been nice, I do have to say. Overall, Pattaya is a very nice little place here. Again, if you're looking for that quote-unquote real Thai experience, I'm not sure if this is the place that you would think of it. Again, there is a bit of like bigotry when you talk about things like the real Thai experience. Eli, I want the real Thai experience. And you're like, well, who the hell do you think these brown people are? do you think like all these folks are like Puerto Rican? do you think like Pattaya conquered by the Puerto Ricans in 1995? Like they are all Thai. I just have to say that. For like all those people out there like, oh, I want the real Thai experience. It's like, you do realize that this is still Thailand. You do realize like all these people are still Thai. So therefore, actually, in fact, it is the real Thai experience because when you're in Thailand dealing with Thai people, de facto it's the Thai experience. It may not be quite the Thai experience that you were expecting, but again, that's its own little story. It is funny because my wife has a friend of hers that when we go back to Bangkok, he's gonna take her to like all the big malls and show her like the subway. And they have a subway, and then they have like the air, like what is it? I don't know. The train that's not the subway. And like all this stuff. Because he feels like that's the thing, like back in the West or whatever, everybody has this idea of like Thailand being like this completely backward place. And he's like, we have malls, we have subways, we have like all this modern stuff. Now obviously it's not quite up to like American standards in some ways, but it's not like it doesn't exist. And I think it really is. I think it is derogatory to like the Thai people. Like where there's this idea, it's like, well, if it isn't palm trees and coconuts and fruit vendors, then it's not really Thailand. And you're like, you do realize like Thailand like produces the most hard drives out of any country in the world. Like when they had the Thai floods in Bangkok, it actually like crippled the hard drive supply in the world. Now there's a lot more and a lot less to that, admittedly. But I mean, like this whole idea that like this somehow is not the real Thailand simply because it has skyscrapers and speedboats and all that kind of stuff. It is a little bit like, well, I'm not saying it's a Thailand I want to hang out in, but it is actually, you know, in fact, in Thailand with Thai people. Can you imagine that? Today in 1995, Pattaya, Thailand was conquered by the Puerto Ricans. Why did the Puerto Ricans conquer Pattaya, Thailand? Nobody really knows why, but they came in. They came in their landing craft, and they took over Pattaya, Thailand. Over and out. Eli, the computer guy, reporting from the conquered zone of Pattaya. The Puerto Rican held zone. It's funny. It'd be like, Eli, that's not real Thailand. Eli, go see real Thailand. I'm like, oh, it is. They're Thai people. Walking up to a Thai person, like, you're not really Thai. This isn't really Thailand. Where is it? It's Puerto Rico. That'd be funny. Can you imagine, like, just walking up to Thai people, like, excuse me, how does it feel to be in Puerto Rico? Like, what? How does it feel to be a Puerto Rican? What? What are you talking about, Eli? I just don't understand you sometimes. Don't worry. If you really understood everything that came out of my mouth, I'm sure you would be far more horrified than you currently are. The nice part about being a little esoteric, the nice part of being a little eccentric, is like I can say things in so many ways that most people don't really actually grasp what I'm saying. They laugh at what I say because it sounds so outlandish, but they don't really actually catch a lot of the underlying things that I'm saying. And so I can actually say some rather horrible things and everybody laughs because they don't realize what I'm actually saying. Do you get what I'm saying? Oh, anyways. Oh, that's good. I've been babbling here for like 44 minutes. So I've been babbling into this camera for 44 minutes past however long it was before I took a flip off of the sandbag. So I guess I've been talking to you folks for about an hour now. So I guess that is good, giving you folks the hour of video a day. Because I like giving people an hour of video a day. Again, a lot of people say, Eli, you should make your videos shorter. And again, for any of those folks, just understand, I am literally trying to do hour-long videos. That's literally the point. Eli, you should cut these down. That is literally not the point. Literally, I have no interest in doing 5-minute videos. Zero interest in doing 5-minute videos. I want to do hour-long videos. So all those people are like, Eli, all you need to do to be so much better is to do 5-minute videos. That is the one thing that I have zero plan of ever doing. Zero plan of ever doing. Because I like these talkie videos. Again, one of the things is to think about, like, whenever you're going to be starting a business. I'm going to talk about this later in a different video. But the importance of institutional knowledge. So what institutional knowledge is that you actually understand the industry that you're getting into. So, like institutional knowledge, where this becomes valuable is like for startup companies. So you have the programmer, right? You have the business person, and then you have the institutional person. So let's say you are going to create a new like meal delivery startup, because the world needs another one of those. But anyways, so you have the technology person, and they build the first version of the app, and they build the first version of the infrastructure and all that kind of stuff. You have that person. Then you have the business person that goes out, tries to get funding. We need $50 million to create yet another Grubhub, whatever. But then you actually need the institutional person. The institutional person is the person who understands how restaurants work, how the food industry works. And those are the people that can go to restaurant owners and say, hey, generally I was a restaurant owner. This is why the value proposition for this company is so good, and this is what you need to do. Or they can sit down with the other founders, and the business founder can say, well, we need to charge every new restaurant that we're going to bring on board $500. And then you can have the person who's actually worked in the restaurant industry go, yeah, no restaurant is actually going to do that. What do you mean? It's like, look, you can charge them $2 or $3 per transaction once they have created a new sale. They'll do that, and that may mean we can make $1,500 or $5,000 per month per restaurant. But what they will not do is simply hand over $500 a month without a guarantee of a sale. It's like, oh, right? But since you have that institutional knowledge, right, you may end up being able to bill restaurants $5,000, 10 times the amount, but the way you bill them is what matters. If you want a flat fee from them, they'll never pay, whereas if you want a commission or whatever, they'll pay all day. And so that's what institutional knowledge is. So if you're going to the construction industry, your transportation industry, and that. So what I find, like with the institutional knowledge for YouTube, is since I'm not just a creator, I am a consumer too, is that I personally like long form content. I like listening to people talk. Again, one of my biggest problems with like the Vlogbrothers or so many people is that they do 4-minute videos. It's like, John Green, stop doing so many jump cuts and just give us the whole thing. Give us all 30 minutes of your crap. I would happily listen to that, because I would far prefer listening to 30 minutes of even if it's not the best content, rather than like every 4 minutes try to find another video. It's like, you know what, like listening to Wheezy Waiter. Like, I like Wheezy Waiter, but the problem is all this stuff is like 4 minutes, well, it's all 4 minutes long with like a minute of the ending of the video. So it's such a pain. You just sit there and you click on one, and right when you're getting into it, it's over. And so my whole thing with all this is that I'm purposely trying to do long videos, so you can put it on, and you can just kind of listen to it in the background while it is you do whatever it is you do. Or you can just sit there with a beer and listen to me talk as you see these beautiful places around the world. That's good too. But that's the thing. So anybody out there saying, Eli, why don't you do shorter videos? That is literally, not figuratively, that is literally not the point. But anyways, with that, we'll call it a day. So tomorrow, we're waking up, well, not waking up, we're getting on the tuk-tuk at 7:30 in the morning. So 7:30 we get on the tuk-tuk, that will then take us to the minibus, that will then take us to the border, that will then take us to the big bus, which will then take us to the hotel, and then by tomorrow night we should be in Siem Reap. Yay! And then we will be reporting from Angkor Wat as the Cubans invade. That'd be so funny. Can you imagine like the Cubans, like, that'd be kind of curious. Can you imagine like one boat showing up with like 25 Cubans, be like, we invade! I think that'd be funny. I think somebody should do like a YouTube. I think somebody should do a whole YouTube channel, a whole series of like, can you imagine that? I'm serious. Like take like 25 like soldiers. I don't know. Give them like Nerf guns or something, and give them a flag, and then just go out there and see how many countries you could invade. Like, seriously, think about it. Like, because there's police and there's military people like all that around. And so like imagine like these Aussies, right? Can you imagine like 25 Aussies like running out of a raft? So imagine, right? So imagine like this little Zodiac like comes zipping up at like full speed, right? And then you have like 25 of these like Aussies come out with like Nerf guns and like the Australian flag, and they run like right up into like in front of military or police people or something, go, we declare this conquered by Australia. And then just see what fun hijinks would ensue. Again, make sure that they have Nerf guns. Make sure they're bright orange and yellow Nerf guns, because it could go very badly. It could not be funny. That'd be funny, right? Yeah, like Cubans. Imagine that, like Cubans invading America. I just have those like little Zodiac boats that like Cubans like drive up from the coast of Maine, and like 25 Cubans come out. We conquer this. Can you imagine what Obama would do? That'd be so cute. Can you imagine poor Obama? That's what they should do, like in November or in October, like the last week in October. They should have a Zodiac boat, like Cubans, land in like Massachusetts or Maine, and see if they conquer. And then see what poor Obama would do. I voted for the guy before I said why the hell did I vote for the guy. But anyway, it would just be so funny to see like what Obama would. Can you imagine Obama sitting there? Why? That'd be hilarious. You see all the Republicans, you can see Trump on the campaign trail. Look at this! Obama's so bad, he'll allow Cubans to invade Massachusetts. And Obama would just be like, I give up. Can you imagine that if like a president just gave up? Can you imagine like November or whatever, like he just puts his hands up. It's like, oh, fuck it, I'm done. I'm done, I'm out of here. All you people are too fucking insane for me. That would be hilarious. Somebody should do that. Land a little Cuban boat. And again, don't do it in Florida or Texas, because they might actually get shot down there. Like Maine. It's like the Zodiac boat of Cubans. We conquer Maine in the name of Cuba. Oh hell, Raul Castro. People be like, what the hell? Can you imagine like the poor state cops? Can you imagine like this little Maine state cap sitting there looking at like 25 like Cuban soldiers in like full fatigues with like Nerf guns, sitting there with a flag planted? Can you be that state cop? Like, I'm gonna need somebody higher level than me out here. I'm not really sure. We got like Cubans with Nerf guns, and they've conquered Maine. I don't know. Maybe I suffered a bump on the head when I fell off that sandbag. I think that'd be fucking hilarious, though. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. That's creativity, right? You know, that's the thing. It's like so many of these YouTube channels, they keep trying to do the same crap over and over and over again. They're doing like reaction videos over like Ghostbusters trailer. This is what creativity is. Somebody needs to come up with a channel of random foreign people trying to take over the world. I mean, Cubans. We have conquered Massachusetts. Oh, who Castro? And like I said, I can see Obama's face as he just looks at this. It's just like, I give up. I just give up. This is an insane world. I'm just done. I'm just done. Oh. Anyways, let the fever talking. I don't think I have an infection fever. I just think that's hilarious. Anyways, you all are probably like, oh my god, Eli has lost his damn mind. Probably. But I also probably did that quite a while ago. Oh, anyways, it is nice here. It is nice. But it's always time to say goodbye. Say goodbye. So with that, I will show you the view for a final time. And you can say goodbye. And tomorrow we will be reporting from Siam Reap.